One of the other things that has made news today is not necessarily arguing anymore about the merits of Trey Lance, but I have heard both Peter King and Brian Baldinger on this station say that it's not so much that the deal happened, but that it happened too soon, that neither of them would make that deal. What do you think about that?
I think that it's fine that it happened now, not only because of what you've been saying about the distraction factor, because I do know that there's a little bit of a distraction when you have him on the roster, even if he's QB3 and he's inactive. When Brock Purdy throws a pick, the camera will find Trey Lance with, and my favorite now with QBs is you have the helmet to your ear. Like, is that the only way you can listen to the play? Is you go helmet to the ear, or you get the earpiece in? Whatever. It's always kind of a hilarious look. But I think in terms of why it happened now, if Trey Lance would have been QB3 for a whole year and didn't play, could you have gotten more than what you got now? I don't think so. I think this is the best deal they could have gotten. When they got it, they get closure. He gets a chance to have a fresh start, and you get to keep Brandon Allen, which, oh boy, I'm excited to see Brandon Allen as QB3.
This is part of the discussion that I really hope. This is my prayer, is that Brock just play most of the games. I'm not even talking about whether he plays all that well. Play most of the games, because this fan base is wounded. This fan base is absolutely rubbed raw over the constant injuries, and we are the only city in America that is sitting here freaking out about who's QB2 and who's QB3. We're the only ones. We're the only ones even talking about it. This idea, oh gosh, we're one hit away from Sam Darnold. Everybody's one hit away from crap in the NFL. Everybody. There's nobody good who's QB2. Do you know how hard it is? I don't need to tell this fan base how hard it is to find a quarterback. If there were great QB2s, they would be QB1s somewhere. So we got to get through this. I hope and pray that Brock Purdy at least plays most of the games.
Right.
But this idea of hanging around the necks of the front office, who's 2, who's 3, who's 4, nobody's got a sure thing at 2, 3, and 4. All they've got is question marks. All the teams.
Well, this team's got a sure thing at 2, and they've got a pretty sure thing at 3. Guys who have actually played and started in this league.
Doesn't mean they'd win.
No, but it means they at least are, players who have something. They've got some resume, and that's important when you have a team that tends to need a 2. And, man, they needed a 3 last year, and darn it, they needed a 4, and they could have used a 5, but they didn't have a 5, and so they ran out of QBs. And so I do think that's why Kyle Shanahan approached it the way he did in terms of Sam Darnold. They made that a free agency priority to get a real 2, thinking that, okay, Brock might not be ready, but what if Brock is ready and Brock goes down? And I don't think that he had any faith in Trey Lance in terms of
course not.
Him being a 2, which is why they brought in Sam, and you brought in Brandon Allen, and then you got rid of Trey. So I do think that Kyle Shanahan is thinking about it in terms of QB depth, because they might need it.
Well, here's the way I look at it. If you all believe that Kyle Shanahan doesn't believe in Trey Lance, if that's your thought, it's funny to me that so many people are saying, don't do that deal now, because you're going to need insurance at the quarterback position in case of injury 1, injury 2, injury 3. Well, if you all believe that he doesn't believe that Trey Lance can win NFL football games, then what kind of insurance is it even providing? So that's my question. It appears to me that Kyle Shanahan doesn't feel like he's giving up that much. He sent him to the Cowboys.
Right.
He sent him to the Cowboys. So if you're not giving up that much, and it is, let's just call it what it is, a distraction. A distraction. The whole fan base has had a hard time talking about anything but for the entire offseason. You cannot have that in the locker room all year long. The Niners are no different than all of you sitting here at Fieldwork Brewing Company right now. They would like to move this conversation forward. And to me, this trade is more about that than anything else.
Right, and they move it forward, because they don't necessarily have faith in Trey Lance. So from a Niners standpoint, it's a win-win. You move it forward, not thinking like, oh boy, I hope that Trey Lance doesn't come back to bite us, because they don't believe that Trey Lance is going to be good enough soon enough to do that very thing. If Kyle Shanahan's looking at it, he's thinking about how do I make sure my team is insured this year and ready to go, chock full of quarterbacks for this season, because you got a short window now with a rookie on a rookie quarterback deal. You've got 2 years, and you mentioned 3 years, whatever it is in terms of Brock Purdy making peanuts. You got to make hay while you can.
888-957-957. You want to throw that out to our audience as well. Obviously, once we get to 4 o'clock, I think we'll have enough cooks in the kitchen. But until then, your call's absolutely welcome on any of this. And maybe it's a day just to sort of dip our toe in the water and find out, now that Trey Lance has moved on, now that the quarterback situation is clear, what is it that you're most excited about the 49ers season? My answer to it would sort of be an extension of what I already said. I think the 49ers are not just good, they're incredibly fun to watch. I love it. The offense feels almost Durant-era Warriors-esque, where on every given play, you're like, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's going to make the play on this third down?
Right.
Go all the way. It's not just Debo. You've got McCaffrey. It could be third and Juwan. There's Brandon Ayuk, who I really think is going to have a wonderful year. And I've named 4 names and haven't even gotten to Kittle yet. And watching the way Purdy plays, extending plays, using his legs in an underrated way. It's not just a good team. It's a fun team. It's a team that I think is deep enough to withstand the obvious injuries that will come to any football team. Like right now, I don't even want to say you got to knock on wood, because I'm not putting cart before horse, but the 49ers are set up to have an unbelievable year.
Super Bowl or bust?
It's not
I'm
that.
Mark Willard.
It is not Super Bowl or bust.
Hi, let me try this. Hello, I'm Mark Willard, and Super Bowl or bust is what... I don't know why I went to Bocha.
Yeah, I was going to say, the manager of the Rangers is a big 49er fan. He's a big 49er fan. Yeah. I'm never going to be Super Bowl or bust.
No, but you're saying everything, but you're dancing around it like
that's not how it works. It's consistent team or bust.
Oh, boy. That's less exciting.
It's not a T-shirt, but I don't care. I want
it's not even a tank top.
The 49ers should be good every year. And right now, they absolutely are. And it's still fascinating to me that we sit here looking at Brock Purdy, and while I will never call someone who's played 8 games a finished product, I also think we're underrating how long 8 games is. And the fact that it wasn't like, oh, he looked kind of good. No, he won them all.
He looked really good.
He looks fantastic.
Well, he lost the NFC Championship game, and that's unfortunate.
He did.
But, based on
I thought those handoffs were really going to work in the second
reference.
half.
If he would have gotten rid of that pass a little sooner, he wouldn't have had his arm fall off. But, that's neither here nor there. Hopefully he learned from that. But you look at this team, and like you said, now that the distraction is gone, you're locked in. You have a very talented roster, good enough offensive line, elite defense. Win the whole damn thing. Okay? Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Say it.
No, I won't, because there's too much that can happen.
On you. Say it.
There's too much that can happen.
I know.
And until Bosa is in, then there absolutely are concerns and questions. I know
Bosa's not in?
I know how this goes when there's a holdout. People start thinking, just like we did with Debo last year, is this going to lead to a trade? The reason Nick Bosa has so much leverage in this situation is he is absolutely irreplaceable. There is no trade that will work. It should not even be on the table. It doesn't mean that he can explode the market. He's got to stay fair. But by the same token, the 49ers are going to have to acquiesce at some point. They got to have him in. They got him. We already have a Bosa jersey that's shown up.
Yeah.
I see your DPOY shirt.
Yeah.
Good job. 957thegameshop.com. Yes, Christian McCaffrey, we see you too. All right, so let's hear it. Let's hear the crowd that's already here. Fieldwork Brewing Company, San Ramon. It is easy to find. It is really easy to sit out here and have a good time. So keep making your way down. We're going to be here all afternoon. The rest of the guys are on their way.